Okay, guys, Mr. Gallion here. Sorry I can't be there today, but what I wanted to do is explain what we are doing with this assignment that I'm assigning today. So, obviously, we just started with the judicial branch last week before Thanksgiving break. And so, what we're going to do today is start this Supreme Court case project where you guys are going to look at some really important Supreme Court cases throughout history, and you're going to pick one to present to the class. Now, you can choose to do this by yourself or with a single partner. So, the most people that can be in a group is two. Um, so, just understand that, be aware of that. You can have a max of two people working on this. So, you are going to pick a Supreme Court case. And this document here is on my website, and I put it on Google Classroom as well. You're going to pick a Supreme Court case, and you can pick any case, but I have put at the bottom of this a whole list of very, very famous cases that you're going to be able to find tons of information on. So, I would pick one. These are going to be ones that, are they going to be the easiest to find info on? But you can pick another one if you find one that interests you. But it must be a United States Supreme Court case. It can't be a, Indiana State Supreme Court or anything like that. So you're going to pick one of those cases, and then you're going to create a PowerPoint or a video. Most people, almost everybody does a PowerPoint for this, but you're going to create a PowerPoint presentation that is going to talk about all this information here. And then you're going to present it to the class, and your job is to persuade the class that your case is the most significant and most interesting. Basically, the class is going to vote on which case is important and who did the best job of presenting it. Right here, presentation and exhibition is 75 points on this, which is the very, very bulk, only 15 points for citations. The way I grade this is two things. One, you got to have all this info: title of the case, the issue being tested, key people involved, when and where did it take place, explain what happened in your own words and the opinion of the court, and then how it's still relevant. But the key thing here is I want you to take this case and I want you to be able to explain it to the class in a dumbed down way. And what that means is if you have a case about freedom of religion, I want you to be able to explain to the class, here's what happened in my own words. I understand it. I'm teaching you that you understand it. Here was the Supreme Court's decision. Here's why it's still relevant. What I don't want is for you to put a whole bunch of legal jargon on there and for you to not understand a word of what you're saying, because that is going to kill your grade right here. Present your info clearly and precisely to the class. And when I say that, I want you to just explain it in your own words. Again, this is the best place to start on these is Wikipedia, but because it gives you the base information, I will also tell you that Wikipedia is one of the worst resources for Supreme Court cases because there's a ton of legal jargon in Wikipedia. There's a ton of legal scholars that do that edit those pages, and it actually makes it hard to understand in an easy way for a high school student. So start there, but then you're going to find your summary of the case somewhere else. So, like I said, you're going to explain what happened. As I said, the issue being tested. So, what's the main issue of the case? Why did it go to the Supreme Court? Key people involved. I don't want the Supreme Court judges here. I want who the people in the case were. So, if the case is Brown versus Board of Education, you're going to tell me that was Linda Brown and the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. So, those were the people when I asked that. When and where did it take place? I know that the case was heard at the Supreme Court, which is in Washington, D.C. What I want to know is the initial thing. So, again, if you're talking about a case that happened in Iowa in 1984, tell me what happened there initially, where it was. Don't tell me that the Supreme Court heard it, because all of these were heard at the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. So that's the key thing there. And then down here, this is really important. How is it still relevant today? And do you think they made a correct decision? Or do you think if they heard this case today, they would change their mind? So that is what we're doing for this. I would encourage you to take plenty of time to make sure that you pick a case that interests you and that you can find some info on. So I would use today mostly finding the info, picking the case, that kind of thing. When you guys pick the case, when you decide or you and your partner decide which case you want, write it up on the board so that we don't have any duplicates there. And if two people write it at the same time and there's an argument over it, you rock, paper, scissors to see who wins. Just make sure to erase it at the end of the class so that the next period doesn't think that those are already taken and they can't pick them. Okay, so that's what you're doing today. We'll do more with it on Wednesday, and we'll start working on it a little deeper since you have more time on Wednesday. All right, guys. See you on Wednesday.